Okay, so in our standard bill of quantities that we have here, you can see lots of items with 0.002. So this is basically a code that relates to a custom item. So if we use the eraser and search for everything, that's actually this item here. So this is one that you can just manually write anything in this text box. You just write it in the workup, and then you can put any price you want, and you can see that it's a manual price. Now, the problem with that is we can't reuse this item, and we also can't so see where we've got items in black, that means that that has a supplier price allocated to it. So we can actually, because this is a product, if the client potentially wanted, if the Yarra bar sink was a standard product and they wanted to upgrade to all black sinks, we could create a recipe that removes this from the bill of quantities and replaces it with a black sink. Unfortunately, because these items don't actually relate, we can't search by this text. We also can't do a manual price increase. So you can do something called global price increases, so that if the supplier of these products advised us that there had been a change in price, we could actually go into the catalogue. So I'll just pretend that the Yarra, we've had a change in that product. So if I search for the Yarra, now you can see here that we've got a supplier pricing. So if we had a change in price there, we could actually add a new line item and go HRVPLUI for Harvey Nordic. I wrote that wrong. So if we had say it was now only 104, so we could change that price, click out and click back in, and that would actually update all of our jobs that use this particular product with the new price. When we have used a custom item, we can't do that. So we would have to go into each bill of quantities and update that item individually. So for the purposes of maintaining accurate job pricing and also being able to use recipes, we will create new items for all of our standard products that we're going to use in our diamond specification. So to do that, I'll just clear out of this. We basically just want to have a few screens open. So we can see here that we can see the cost center number that we're looking for. So I've already found this document here, which is the final version of the quote from Harvey Norman, which is our current plumbing supplier. So we've got that quote here. So what we'd like to do is we would like to add all of these items into DataBuild in our catalogue. So I'll just close that one there. So if we go 09.020, which is from here, 09.020, which is our plumbing fixtures and tapware cost center, where we'd like to add all these prices. Now, we do have a lot of items in this cost center, so you may find, I'm just going to search for Abby and see if I can find anything here. Okay, so I don't have any Abby products, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to copy this particular product into DataBuild so that it's set as a standard item. So I'll just delete that there. So I can copy this last item here and that will put it in the bottom. So if I select that line and then I just go copy the current item, so I'll keep the same start of the code. So it's 09.020, which just is the prefix that we use for all codes going into this particular cost center. And then you need 6 numbers. So I just like this to follow on from this one. So I'll go 10980. Now, because I've copied an item already, it has the same units of measurement and the same cost center number. So it's a little bit less work for us to update. So what I'll do is I'll just actually copy all this information from the quote across. So it is a Abbey Princess double bowl undermount sink, okay, in stainless steel. So that's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that item to black because we're going to put in supplier pricing. I'm going to set my estimating price level at the same price as my supplier price, because that way when I use this particular item in a recipe, it will automatically calculate the estimating price. So if I wanted to build a barbecue area and I use the Abbey Princess Bowl in that recipe, it would use the the estimating price level. So that's why I always need to make sure that I've got an estimating price here. We always use the highest supplier price. So all your supplier pricing sits in this bottom section. If you add new supplier pricing, always make sure that this estimating pricing sits at the highest level, so that if I have to use a different supplier for whatever reason to issue the purchase order, this is the dollar figure that will go in the bill of quantities. And these figures here just means that no matter who I end up using for a particular product, we're covered from a price point of view. So that's all we really need to put in here. We don't need too much more information, and that will go through now. So I'll just close that. We'll just refresh the catalogue items in the actual bill of quantities. Now, if we go back to that cost centre and we scroll down the bottom, we will find our Abbey Princess double bowl undermount sink, and then we'll be able to use that in the bill of quantities. So because we only have one supplier for this particular product, we'll just, when you actually use the item in the bill of quantities, you can just change the price level to -1, which is your supplier price, and put the supplier up here. And that means that this will automatically have the current pricing for that particular supplier. And that just means that when the production estimator goes to issue the purchase order, it's all set up. You've entered in all the quantities, that pricing is correct for the supplier, and they can just send out that purchase order.